Hey everybody, welcome in, and today we are going to be talking about stones, Sorcerer Stones, what is available or not available anymore, but will be becoming available, which was meant to be this month, June. We're going to have a little talk about what is going to be so good, what is not going to be good, how we expect to get them. So let's jump into it. So, firstly, yes, I've often had questions about yes, all these little stones that are attached. How do you get them? What do they do? The way you get to see what stones and what they do, if you go into a character and these little circles here, all the different characters, even if you don't have a stone on them, you can go and they'll have the little circle area where the stone will go. All you need to do is click that, and then that'll take you to this menu here, and you can see what a stone will do, what benefits it'll give you. So, for this, I have a little basic attack stone here. They go in up in levels by 3. So the basic will give 5%, the second level will give 15%, and the last level 30%. They used to be different. They used to have different types. The main types for attack, defense, health were 5, 10, 15%. And that seems to be the case. And same for recovery. But there used to be a difference for speed and crit chance. So speed used to be the same as crit chance. Speed used to be 2, 4, 6. And with an update, probably around global around that time, they got moved into the 5, 10, 15. And now at the moment, only the crit chance is left at 2, 4, 6, which previously is because those two have changed the way the game works so much, is that if you were to get 5, 10, 15 crit chance, you'll be breaking things, you'll be critting everywhere, the damage will be going like sky high. And so that's why they were limited. The funny thing is that they seem to have changed the speed stones to 5, 10, 15. And that means maxed speed stones have so much of an impact. So at the moment, when the stones become released, when they become available, speed stones are going to be the most broken. They're the best in the game at the moment. People that have a lot of the speed stones, everybody knows how important speed is in this game. And if you're already having trouble, say if you're running a different type of team, say like Onward, and then someone else is running Kingdom, with Shan giving a speed buff, now imagine that when that Kingdom team has more speed buffs and they get 2 turns in before you even get 1. That is currently what's happening. That is the way these are. I've got no idea why they changed these to 5, 10, 15%. It blows my mind. I don't know why, and that shows and explains why the speed zones are having so much more effect these days, and it is so much, the teams that have them are so much more dominant. I can in my Sorcerer's tournament, I can go in and find players who are running like full teams of speedstones. There are a few out there, and that's what they happen to get, and that's what they invested in, and it's paid off for them now that when they changed. And sometimes I can get 1 or 2 attacks in with the ones that I have of my speed, my fastest characters, and then I'll find that the other team is already lapping me. I think that's not great, and I hope before the stones are re-released, I hope that there are changes made to the stones and what happens. So the next thing I want to talk about, everybody pretty much, so that just means that if the stones stay the way they are, everybody, when they are released, go for speed stones. At the moment, unless there are changes, and I'd say I would expect there to be changes, because at the moment it just breaks the game, and I don't think it's good for the game. So either I think they need to A, change the speed stones, or B, change the way that the speed and turns work in this game, so there's no more lapping. Like I've mentioned this before about, like, say, the reasons why Dash, Shan, and those other characters of the likes are causing trouble is because they're getting so many more turns in before anyone else gets a turn. And I think that's just not good for a turn-based type game. And hopefully that gets fixed. But at the moment, they're broken. They're so good. So now I'm just going to talk about quickly the other types of stones. The offense stone are going to be good for any characters doing more damage, or anyone you want to do more damage. Now, in saying that, most of the stones that used to be the most useful were speed, offense, defense, and crit, depending on the characters. So, say for my Hades, I put a crit stone on him because he already had high crit chance, and so having the extra 6% on top of his natural 15% would give him 21%. So that means 1 in every 4 attacks is going to be a crit, and just giving me more that chance. But it's very chance unreliable. There are certain characters like, say, Shan. I've got a stone on Shan as well, and for him, it works kind of the same, but he also gets benefits for when he does crits, so that's why I've got them on him. But pretty much how previously it used to be, the offense and defense stones. Defense were great for defensive characters that make them survive longer, and now for tanks and taunting, now that taunting can't be removed easily, it could be good to make them survive longer. But recovery stones are at the moment redundant, well, except for Dr. Facilia, which he's actually good and you want more healing on. But hopefully that'll change with more things, more characters being fixed and healing better. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's pretty much how it works. You can actually just go and click on, you don't have to have stones, you can just go click on any of these stones and see what changes they would give, and you can see the green numbers of what one of those stones would do to your character. And so a full speed stone on Hades goes up to 149. That is mind-boggling, and that is why the teams with those stones on are running laps around everybody else. So hopefully they get changed. Offense, you can see it does a decent boost, but the percentage and the amount actually boosted affects so much more for, say, a speed than it does for your damage and offense, because the offense is so much of a higher number that has a lot more variance, whereas speed, you get more impact from the speed than you do from everyone else, and that's why it used to be the same as crit chance 2, 4, 6. So we will see. Now, let us talk about the stones in the exchange. In here, the Sorcerer's Exchange. This is where, when we get the Sorcerer's Trials out to get the stones back, and you get the currency here, pretty much all those yellow ones, the speed stones, the topaz stones, are the ones you want to be buying if things stay the same. They're going to be the best stone. Now, in saying this, if there are changes and buffs or nerfs to the stones in the future, which I think is needed, I'm just going to put this out there right now. I think it is needed. I think either the turn structures need to be changed, the way that the turns and the battle system is working, or these stones need to be adjusted. But I would say more likely, I personally think the battle system needs to be adjusted, so it's on like a whole turn basis. Each character has like a full revolution of turns, so all the characters fit in once, depending on their speed and their adjustments within that last battle, and then that'll get rid of the speed issues. So it'll still be good to have speed, but it won't be OP broken. So I just wanted to make sure I get that out there before, if this video goes older and then nerfs happen, then people are like, oh, we got told to invest into. Your choice, choose wisely. At the moment, speed stones are the most broken. They are the best. Hopefully they'll balance out and it'll actually be good enough to get into, like, say, the damage stones or the HP stones, or at the very end, the defense stones. I think it is needed for the game, and balance is needed, because at the moment all those other stones are useless compared to the speed of, just for what speed does in this game. There are certain few, very, very certain few times where that is not the case in this game, with, say, Dr. Facilia with his healing, because you don't really need his speed. You want him to heal more when things are dying, although speed can help, but it all really depends. but 95% of the time, speed stones are broken. So here, save up, get them. You need 1,000, so you can see up the very top, I have 900 currency left over from back in the day when these were last available. Now, when they come out, you'll come in here, purchase these little stones to then go forth, put them onto your characters. There's no limit to putting on and off the smaller stones, so I can equip them here, I can unequip, I can put them on somebody else. I can be like, okay, Ariel, put it on, equip, see how they do. You can test them. Now, when you get to the higher level stones, there starts to be penalties. So if you wanted to equip and unequip these stones, so it becomes 100k gold to unequip a level 2 stone. And then full max stone, you saw at the beginning that there is a penalty of 200,000 gold to unequip and equip. So you can't. So that's just discouraging people from putting these on certain characters. Say in Club Conquest, for example, you can't just go and put them on one character, use one team for attack, take them off, put them on another, and use all your most broken full stones consistently on every single team. Whereas you can do that with your small stones, and when you first get stones, I'd say it's a wise decision to do. Put them on a team, use them, try them, unequip them, put them on another one, do it again, and get all those little boosts, make the most out of all those little boosts while you can, and no matter what kind of game mode. So when you first have them, do that, and then try them on all sorts of different characters, see which ones do the most, and what you like the bonuses of the most. So that is a little tip and recommendation. Now, for how you used to get stones, let me just find this for you. So I have done some previous videos of these trials, and there were Lion King trials, Aladdin trials, and there were also Arcana trials, which is like a paper, scissors, rock system that they introduced. Blue beats red, red beats green, green beats blue, kind of typing system given to characters, which was good and bad. It was bad because they introduced it at 50% bonus damage, which was far too much and made so many characters not great. Hopefully, if it gets reintroduced, they'll only introduce it at like a lower amount, like 20% max, 20 to 25 max, because it was just far too much of an impact on the game. But what we will see here is in the rewards, the max rewards given, you got a half stone, and they were really cool. They were really good. So hopefully that kind of comes back. You also can see there the currency that you're given to spend in the shop, as well as a scroll. Now the scrolls are used to level the stones up, and previously we also got them as conquest rewards. So I don't know if they're going to be introducing them. I don't think so by the looks of things currently, but that could be. I'm not sure. I don't know if they'll do that again. So if you want to see any of these old videos of mine that bring in all of these old trials, feel free to go back and check. I'll probably link a couple of them down into the description below. Just know that they are the old style of game, the 3v3 real time, not the 5v5 turn-based, how the games initially started out. So the gameplay is very different, but this is how, and you can have a little look in there, what the rewards were like, how we used to get these stones and get the currency to get these stones. So that is what they were. So let's just jump back into the game quickly. I would also just like to add that with those Arcana trial ones, is that they not only were based on the paper, scissors, rock system, but all of the different matches, even the Lion King and the Aladdin, all had different challenges to each single event, each of the trial. So this one here will say harmful effects applied to the opponents are also applied to allies. So anything that you give to the opponents, you blind them, they're going to blind all of yours. You stun them, you're going to get stunned. Things like that. And then helpful effects applied to allies are also applied to opponents. So this is where things got a bit tricky, that you can't just rely on one team. Is that if you relied on, say, Frozen, you're giving haste, you're giving all these types of things, the opponents will be getting them too. And that is where these were really cool. And it was a real fun mode to play against. and you had to use different teams, different strategies to get around this. So you had to use teams for this one in particular that would not debuff the enemy and also would not buff yourself. And each of the different trials, go and check them out in the description below. Each of the different trials would have different requirements, different things that would be happening within the level themselves. So they're really fun. Hopefully we see them come back. And I'd say, even if the trials themselves change a little bit, I would say these kind of challenges, the things that will be happening within the events, probably will still stay similar, if not the same. So things like having one of the trials to be any bad effects you give, any debuffs you give, and any buffs you give will be spread to either team. I think those types of things will be still active in the trials themselves. So we'll get back to regular programming. I made mention for leveling stones up using the scrolls. When you go into the second stone here, or the third stone, you see a craft option. When you click on it, you can see you need 15 of these little stones to make up, plus a few of those shards to make up the bigger stone. And then likewise going forward, you need a whole 10 of those half stones, plus these other materials, plus scrolls to make up the big stone. So you have to go through, farm a whole bunch, get them from those different types of events, and then combine them to make those stones. And they cost a whole lot of everything. They cost a lot. So when they get introduced, expect that they still have those in the game, showing you how to do it, so everybody can check on it yourself. So we'll just have to wait and see how things get released. If we see the same kind of Sorcerer's Trials, there has been speculation on what the trials may look like. Some people have said there'll be typing trials based on, say, Kingdom, based on Downtown, based on Wilds. Now, I can see them going down that route, but they've already gone down that route with that's kind of how we say things. But I kind of see them doing it how they used to. Now, they can't do the Arcana at the moment because that was the typing system that we don't have in this game at the moment anymore. But for, say, the Lion King and the Aladdin events, I can see them bringing those ones back. And I can see them bringing, say, an Onward event to get the trials. Onward Trials. Incredibles Trials. Toy Story Trials. Aladdin Trials. Lion King Trials. All the different types of events we've had. So to reward you for investing in those events. And then that's how you're going to get these stones. That's how you're going to get the currency to buy the stones. So I can see them doing that. As well as potentially, maybe they might bring up another whole system instead of the Arcana. Maybe they'll do typings, Kingdom, whatever else. Or maybe they'll just rework the game. I don't think so, though. I don't think so they'll do that much. But it'll be interesting to see how they reintroduce these stones. Hopefully they do something about the broken speed stones, or else everyone's just going to be buying them and they're going to run laps around everybody. Trouble. It's going to be trouble. So I'm just warning you all. We'll have to wait and see what the devs do. I highly expect there to be some changes on the release, whether it's buffs or nerfs or whatever else it might be. But at the moment, things will not. The ones with stones are changing. Say the 15 to 10%, 5% is not actually that much of a deal. People have the small stones, is not much of a too much deal. 5% is not going to change much more damage. If you're doing, say, 1,000, you're going to be doing 50 extra damage. That's not that much. On defense, you're going to be taking 5% less damage. It's not that much. Now, the only problem it was, as I was mentioning, is the speed. That changes a lot. So hopefully things are changed. We will see. But don't get discouraged just because you see someone with like the smaller stones or the medium stones. You can still beat them. People without stones have been beating better players with stones. Best stones are by far the speed stones. All the other stones are kind of like, especially like recovery stones and crit damage stones. Those are probably the worst. and the health and the defense, they give you a little small bonus in the actual scheme of things, but they're not as good as people are actually thinking. Except for the speed zones. Speed zones are broken and so good. So hopefully we see changes yet again. I've mentioned that enough, and I'm just mentioning it to make sure, because I'm sure something will be done about it, because it is so impactful. So we'll wait and see. Every other stone will change your character slightly and give you a little bit of a different way to play them, whereas speed stones will just give you more turns and let you get in more of everything that you're doing. So hopefully they balance it out so that there is more balance. There's reason to get these other stones again. Hopefully it gives you reason to change your team all the way around, change the way characters interact and how they survive, how they do damage. That is what they're intended for, and I hope they get back to the way things that they're made to be used. So can't wait to hear from you guys in the comments below. What do you guys think about Sorcerer Stones? How do you think they are going to be implemented? And if you think they're going to come back the way that they used to, I'll put those links in the description below of the way that they used to be, the game styles. So feel free to check them out if you want a little bit more info, looking more at the rewards and how they used to work. Just know that it's a different game style. So can't wait to hear from you all, and we'll see you soon.